When the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold, when your dreams all fail and the ones we hail are the worst of all.
Welcome to the first 2015 episode of Kmms.
In this episode, we'll have interviews with social studies teachers about Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
We will also have a new Mansfield's Got Talent,
and the best of 2014.
We will also be having an interview with student council to figure out upcoming events. We've got some shout-outs here. The first shout-out is from Miss Welsh. Her message is, shout out to my students. They were great for the substitute while I had jury duty. They're awesome. So, shout out to the students of Miss Welsh. The next shout out is from Rain Horn. This says, my shout out goes to Asina for being a good friend and making me laugh when I'm sad. Thank you. This last shout out is from Jennifer John, and she says, this is to Itza for being a kind, safe, and loving friend, and students to all teachers and staff, and don't forget smart. So enjoy this episode of Kmms.
This is Renee, this is Blue, and Jacqueline. I'm here with Student Council to ask them some questions about upcoming events. So Renee, how much are the yearbooks now?
They're $20 now. They were $15, but we've raised the price to $20.
And do you guys have any upcoming fundraisers?
Some upcoming fundraisers we have is a coupon book that we'll be selling. So yeah. And we also have the Valentine's Day dance and Spirit Week.
And when is the dance?
The dance will be February 13th, so the day before Valentine's Day.
And do you know when Spirit Week is?
Spirit Week will be the week of the dance. So that Friday, all that week will be Spirit Week.
And is there any other upcoming events that we should know about?
We're looking towards doing another diaper drive and another cat drive.
I'm Carly, this is Renee, this is Blue and Jacqueline. This is Kmms because you're...
I'm George, and this is Mr. Nichols. Today we're going to be asking Mr. Nichols a few questions. Mr. Nichols, where are you from?
I grew up in Mesa, Arizona.
And what do you teach?
I teach 6th grade science.
Where did you go to college?
I went to college at the U of A, which is right back there.
And final question, how long have you been teaching here at Mansfield?
This is actually my first year at Mansfield.
I'm George, this is Mr. Nichols, this is Kmms, because you are new. Yeah. I'm George, and this is Mr. Wells. We're going to be talking about Martin Luther King Day. Mr. Wells, who was Martin Luther King Jr.?
Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights leader who was very charismatic and bringing a conscience to our nation about civil rights.
And what's Martin Luther King Day?
It's a day which we honor him and his vision of civil rights and people being treated fairly.
What does Martin Luther King Day mean to you?
Okay, it means quite a lot to me. I actually grew up in basically the community of Reverend King. And I grew up in a time where I would see people chanting in the streets, "We shall overcome." And part of civil rights that he was talking about is my mom was affected by that, and she had to get on the back of the bus for people to give her her seat. So it was, it meant a lot to me.
Thank you, Mr. Wells.
You're welcome.
I'm George. This is Mr. Wells. This is Kmms because you are news.
Okay. I'm Carly. This is Miss Monhay. I'm here to talk to Miss Monhay about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, who was Martin Luther King Jr.?
Well, he was a really important and impactful civil rights leader in the 60s. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Well, who is he then, Carly? You mean this interview isn't about you, it's about me? Exactly, that's my job, to make you think, right? All right, well, let me tell you about him. Okay, so he believed in civil disobedience, which means basically he tried to get people to not follow laws that were unfair or unjust towards a certain color or race. So if you guys remember Rosa Parks, that was all because of his planning. At one point, I believe he won a Nobel Peace Prize as well. He was just a really influential man, but several years later, he was assassinated.
And why is Martin Luther King Day important?
Well, it's a day that we use to honor and remember a hero. It's also a day for us to reflect and see how far we've come as a country, and I think what still needs maybe some work.
And what does Martin Luther King Day mean to you?
Well, the day or the man?
The man.
Okay, that's okay. The man, he was an influential leader, and he set the bar really high for the way that you can accomplish your goals, and it's a person that I really look up to.
I'm Carly, this is Miss Monhay. This is Kmms because you are news.
Hi, I'm here with Miss Paula Gear, and we're going to interview her about Martin Luther King Day. Hi, Miss Paula.
Hello.
Who is Martin Luther King Jr.?
Wow. Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights leader. He was a minister first, and he worked to, contrary to you kids who think that he worked to free the slaves, that's not true. He worked to bring civil rights to the United States.
And what does it mean to you?
What does what mean to me?
Martin Luther King, like the celebration of it.
Oh, well, the celebration, it's a good thing. We should have more celebrations because then we miss more school, right? But no, I think it's a good thing to have to honor someone who worked so hard. It's an honor. Now, granted that Arizona did not want to make it a legal holiday until they were threatened with highway funds, taking the highway funds away, but just the same, they finally decided, oh yeah, okay, we'll make it a holiday.
Okay, thank you, Miss Bolivar.
That's it? No more questions?
That was it.
Okay.
Well, this is Kmms because you're in it.
This should be in the bloopers.
Is that our first blooper? Did I just make the blooper cut?
Yes. This better not go in the bloopers.
That's going in the bloopers. Dang it.
What are you gonna do?
That was terrible. I am terrible. Wait, for me, please. Okay, that's perfect. Or hey, oh, doop doop doop. I'm stupid. Quit eating my hair, okay? Quit eating my hair.
I like hair.
That's creepy.
Wait, George.
Why does he keep eating people's hair?
I don't know.
Ah! Sit up. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Blah, 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 blah.
You can kind of like...
Are you?
George, catch.
You just said welcome to 2013. Whoa, that dance. That dance. Welcome students to 2015.